Today we're going to show you how to install this Rhino BR20.5 replacement rear bumper on this Chevy Silverado 1500. Let's go. Our factory bumper on our 2019 Chevy has already been removed. If you have any questions on that, there's going to be a link in the description of another video where we did it on our 2019 Sierra. It's going to be the same rear bumper removal. Now when you remove that factory bumper, make sure you're going to keep and harvest all of the factory parts off of it, because we're going to be reusing some of those on our new bumper, and that'll be our first step. All right, so now we have our aftermarket bumper here with some of our stock parts. So we're going to be installing those now. We have our license plate light covers, our plastic fascia that's going to go here, our trailer plugs, our spare tire tunnel, and our other tag light. Now we're going to work on putting on our left tag light housing here. So we're going to slide the tab side in that doesn't have a hole in it. Then we're going to take our included hardware and going to thread it into the threaded tab that's already on the bumper, so you don't need a nut on the other side of that bolt. And we're going to repeat that same process on the opposite side. Now for installing our center portion here, we're going to be doing that using these 3 existing clips. Just like that. Now we're going to be installing our spare tire lock. So we're going to be pushing this through the front side. That will snap into place. Now, just like the spare tire lock, we're going to be taking our factory trailer plug and pushing it through the front of the bumper. And once you've pushed your trailer plug in far enough, it will click into place. Now we're going to take our auxiliary brackets and mount them onto our bumper. We're going to do that by using our end bolt with a lock washer and flat washer. These are going to thread into the welded nuts that are already on your bumper. And we're going to tighten that up with a 21 millimeter. And we'll repeat that on the opposite side. Now we're moving on to the driver's side of the truck, and we're going to be removing this 21 millimeter bolt that is attaching the hitch receiver to the frame. We're going to remove that just to be putting it back in with our new aftermarket bracket. You might need a breaker bar in order to break it loose. It is pretty tight, but we're going to go ahead and take this out now. Now, after removing the 21 millimeter bolt off of the bottom of the frame, we're going to move towards the top of the frame, and we're going to back this 21 millimeter bolt out about 1/2 inch, just enough to be able to fit the bracket in there, so that when we tighten this bolt back up, the flange is going to come in contact with that bracket. Now we're going to work on putting our bracket on our driver's side. So we're going to look for the circular cut in our bracket that's going to go right around the hitch receiver. So we're going to fit that on now. It's a little bit more difficult for us because we have an aftermarket exhaust kit on. And we're going to slide that up until these holes line up on the left. And now we're going to put the 21 millimeter bolt back in the bottom of the frame. You're going to want to get it in just enough that it will hold the bracket, but you don't want to snug it up just yet. We're going to do that at the end. Now we're going to move towards the top of the frame where we backed that bolt out earlier. Now with our bottom frame bolt and top frame bolt back installed on our bracket, it's still supporting our bracket, although it's still loose, and we can repeat all of that on the opposite side. We're going to take our included flat washer, lock washer, and 14 millimeter nut and place them over the outside of the exposed bolt on the top of the frame facing towards the outside of the truck. and we're going to put that on but not tighten it up. We're going to come back and do that later. All right, so with help of two friends, you can lift the bumper up, and we're going to align the holes on both sides. Now that we have our bumper mounted to our brackets and our holes are aligned so that our bolt is going through the auxiliary bracket on the bumper and the bracket that attaches the bumper to the frame, we are going to have our flat washer, our lock washer, and then our included black nuts over the bolt. We can go ahead and start tightening these up along with the frame bolts on the bracket. But when you're tightening those up, you're going to want to make sure that the bumper is going to be straight and placed where you want before you snug them up. Now that we have our bolts tightened up on our bumper and that's in place where we want it, now we can go ahead and put our support bracket on. So here we are at the driver's side. It's going to be going up like this with the short side of the bracket going up against our frame bracket here and the long side going on top of the tab coming off of the bumper. So we can get that into place there. And now we're going to take our included bolts and we're going to have our lock washer and our flat washer. So we're going to start by threading this in from the bottom, from the tab on the bumper. Now again with the lock washer and flat washer on the same bolt, we're going to put it through the bracket and then again to the welded nut on the bracket that connects to the frame. And now we can tighten those up. And now repeat that same process on the opposite side. Now we're going to start to reconnect our harnesses. We're going to start with behind the tag. We're going to reconnect our blue plug into position there and push the red tab back up so it's locked into place. Then we're going to take our TPS monitoring device and we are going to slide it into the tab on the passenger side and then push it in on the left-hand side, and that's secured. Now on the passenger side, we can plug our plug back in for our tag lights. And that'll click into place. Then we can take our tag light bulb and lock it into place. And repeat that on the opposite side. Now for the trailer light plug, we can just slide that back over. And lock it into place. Now that we're all tightened up and our harnesses are back on, you can turn on your truck and make sure that your tag lights work. Other than that, if you have any other questions, feel free to give us a call or visit us online. Thanks.